Fifth grade into math, lesson 11.4. Divide unit fractions by whole number. I can represent division of a unit fraction by a whole number using visual fraction models and equations. Step it out. Darsha has 3 days to read half of a book. She plans to read an equal amount each day. How much of the book will Darsha read each day? So she has 3 days. And then half of the book, right? So model the situation with an equation. Let T represent how much of the book Darsha will read each day. So we need to start with our total. What is our total? Is always the total listed first? No. Okay. So what are we looking for? How many pages she can read, right? Okay. So what do we have left? What's the total? The half. She has half of the book left. And then she's going to read it divided by 3 days equals T, or how much she can read each day. What part of the division equation represents the part of the book that Darshan has to read? So this is the what in our equation? What's that called? The dividend. What needs to be divided, right? What part of the division equation represents the number of days that Darsha has to read the book? What's this called? The divisor. Represent the situation with a visual fraction model. So we're going to draw our rectangle. Do we use the whole rectangle? No, we're only using half of it. Okay. And then of that half, we need to break that half into how many sections? 3. And then remember, the other half, I go ahead and dot out. We wouldn't use it, but we still need to show those pieces, correct? Okay. So what part of the whole book does each equal part represent? So how many parts do we have total? We have 6, right? And she's only going to use 1 of them, right? Okay. So let's go ahead and work out our problem. So 1/2 divided by 3. So then we can see if it equals what we got with our picture, right? So 1/2 times, and then I do the reciprocal. What's the reciprocal of 3? 1/3 equals 1/6. So she will get to read 1/6 of the book. Step it out. Number 2. Darsha has 1/3 of her math homework left to complete. If it takes her 4 minutes to finish it, how much of her math homework does Darsha complete each minute? So she has 1/3 of the homework, 4 minutes, and then they want to know how much of her math homework does she complete each minute. Write an equation that models the situation. So what is our total? What needs to be divided up? So 1/3, right? And it needs to be divided by 4, right? Equals, we'll just say 8, okay? For how much homework she can get done, okay? So then we need to do what? They gave us the number line, okay? Now they gave us one whole. Do we need to use that whole part? No, we need to break it into thirds, right? So here's our 1/3, and then here's 2/3. But are we going to use the 1/3 on? No, okay? But then we need to break the 1/3 section into how many pieces? 4. Okay, so what does the length from 0 to 1 on the number line represent? It represents all of her homework, right? Okay. So this is kind of what we just talked about. Okay, so the 1 whole represents all of her homework, but we only needed to represent 1/3 of it, right? So which section of the number line represents the dividend? So we said the section from 0 to 1/3, right? We said we didn't need to use the 1/3 past to 1. Shape the section to represent the dividend. So basically, we could shade it, but we just left everything else like right, and we just showed that part. Okay, and then we showed the tick marks to do the divisor. We got 4 sections, right? How many equal lengths do you have? So how many equal lengths do we have? So 4 equal lengths. Oh, that connected it. Okay, repeat the division of equal lengths on the entire number line. Okay, so they want us to go ahead and do those. So we have to break these into 4. Okay, so how many total tick marks do we have? So we have 3 sections with 4 in each, so 12. What does the size of each equal length represent? So if we have 12, then it would be 1/12, right? Okay, then it says circle the quotient on the number line. So basically, it would just go from here to here, right? So let's check it. So 1/3 divided by 4 equals 1/3 times, what's the reciprocal of 4? 1/4, which equals, so 1/12, what's our label? Check for understanding number 1. Darsha writes 1/4 of a report equally over 5 days. How much of the whole report does she write each day? Write an equation to model the situation. Represent the equation on the number line and circle the quotient. So we went ahead and wrote 1/4 divided by 5. Then we used our number line and we weren't using a whole, so we broke it into 4 size pieces. And then we broke each of those 4 size pieces into 5 pieces, which left us with 20 tick marks. And so we then circled that they only wanted 1/20th of it. And then we finished working out our equation to check our answer, and we ended up getting 1/20th of the report for our answer. Divide, write a related multiplication equation to solve. So we are going to write 1/6 times, what's the reciprocal of 9? 1/9 equals 1/54. Now, what is the most important thing when you're dividing fractions? Can you change the order? No. It has to stay in the same order because you can only flip the second number in the equation. Okay? Now, this is written with A being first, but do I change the order of what's in front of the division? No. So 1/10 times, what's the reciprocal of 6? 1/6 equals, oh, write that wrong. Okay, next one, 1/7 times, what's the reciprocal of 4? 1/4 equals 1/28. On your own, number 5 reason. Is 39 a reasonable answer for 1 divided by 3? Explain. So we went ahead and worked out 1/13 divided by 3, which got us 1/13 times 1/3, which equaled 1/39. So we said no, because dividing a unit fraction by a whole number gets you an even smaller fraction. Okay, divide when a related, or write a related multiplication equation to solve. So we're gonna write what? 1/15 times, what's the reciprocal of 5? 1/5, which equals 1/75. Okay. Next one, once again, it is at the beginning, but do I change my order? No. So what do I write? 196, because 12 times 8 is 96. Okay. Next one, what am I going to write? Eight, and then so 7, the reciprocal of it is 1/7, so it equals 1/140th. Okay. Number 9, open-ended. Use the number line to represent a division problem with a unit fraction divided by a whole number. So what we did is we wrote our equation 1/2 divided by 3, and then we went ahead and did our number line. So we broke it into half in the middle, and then we broke that half into 3 sections and did the same with the other side. And then we circled our one section that they wanted, which was 1/6. Then we checked our division problem and took 1/2 times 1/3, which got us 1/6. On your own, number 10, model with mathematics. Joshua has 1/3 pound of fertilizer for 3 flower beds. If he puts an equal amount of fertilizer in each flower bed, how much fertilizer does he put in each bed? Write an equation to model the situation, then represent the problem using a visual model. So we circled our 1/3 pound, we circled our 3 flower beds, and then underlined how much fertilizer does he put in each bed. So for the picture, we went ahead and drew a rectangle. Then we wrote it into third sections vertically. And then of that first section, it needed to be broken into 3 sections. And then we go ahead and draw straight lines for that first section and dotted lines for the other parts, because even though we didn't use the whole, you still have to represent it for its parts. So we said 1/3 divided by 3 equals 1/3 times 1/3, which equals 1/9 pound of fertilizer, to check our answer. Number 11, open-ended. Greta solves a division problem in which the quotient is 1/48. What are 2 possible equations that could have a quotient of 1/48? So we need to think of multiples of 48. So we could do 1/4 divided by what? 12. And then we're going to check that. What else can we do? Could I also do 1/8 divided by what? 6. So let's check them. So 1/4 times what? 112 equals 148. So did that work? Yes. So right here. Okay. Then 1/8 times 1/6 equals 148. So did that work? Yes. So basically, in order to get the 148, I needed to start with a unit fraction and then divide it by a whole number. But the bottom, the denominator in my unit fraction, and my whole number had to be factors of 48, right? Okay. So I could have, there's some other factors of 48 as well, right? Okay. But those were just the ones we used here. Number 12, use structure. You divide 1/8 by 4 in a number line representing this division. What would you label your large tick marks? Into how many smaller sections would you divide each equal length? What is the quotient? So they want our, so we said that the bigger ones would be divided into 1/8, and then you would divide them into 4 sections. So then for our quotient, we went ahead and did our division problem. So 1/8 divided by 4 equals 1/8 times 1/4, which equals 1/32. Number 13, use tools. Casey cuts a 1/4 pound of pepper into 6 equal sized pieces. How much of 1 full pound is each piece? Represent the problem on the number line. So we took our number line and broke it into 4 and then labeled the bigger tick marks. Then each 1/4 was broken